Warning, this show may contain some crude humor and mild swearing. Listener discretion is advised. The show was produced by Geek Happy Network, creators of the very best in audible oracle entertainment. In other words, podcasts. If you enjoy listening to Smorgasbord, remember to subscribe to the show in Spotify or on your favorite podcast app. Remember to leave a review. We'd love to hear your thoughts. This is Smorgasbord!
Okay. Welcome to Smorgasbord, a show where we explore the rituals, myths, and all things strange about the world of food. I'm Mick.
And I'm Angel.
And today we're here to talk about poop?
Poop?
Poop coffee?
Poop stories.
Okay,
My favorite stories.
I think this is Angel's idea. So why are we doing poop?
We're specifically talking about poop coffee.
Oh, poop coffee. Is it like why you poop?
I don't mean
when you drink coffee?
Poop. I mean poop coffee.
Poop coffee. like coffee that is poop?
Yes, precisely.
Wow. This is special. Okay.
So all you Starbucks lovers, you won't be getting this special coffee.
No, apparently not. I guess Starbucks is too fancy for this.
Or too plain.
I don't know.
Not hipster enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about poop coffee, or I guess to some places it's called Civet coffee.
Yes.
So it's not actually people pooping coffee.
No.
It's an animal pooping coffee?
Sometimes it's called cat poop coffee.
Cat poop coffee.
But the animals that actually consume these beans, the cocoa beans, is that what?
Coffee beans.
Coffee
yeah.
beans. They're not actually cats. They are very weasel-like.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So today we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll go through the history of coffee, and then look into what really is this poop coffee and how it came to be.
It's very expensive.
Yeah, it is very expensive. So for those of you who don't know, did you know that there are full-time jobs dedicated to preparing and serving coffee?
You mean a barista?
Yeah. Called baristas. That's crazy.
Oh, man. Never heard of such a profession.
Yeah. You have a bartender and then you have a barista. Huh.
Uh-huh.
Never heard of it. No.
No.
Especially
where
us
do you get your coffee
art
from?
majors have never heard of being a barista.
Yeah, where do you get your coffee from?
I don't know.
It's like a magic bird just
yeah.
drops it in your hand as you go outside.
Poops a cup down into my hand every morning.
Oh.
Makes like a caca. Ooh.
Wow, I don't have that kind of service.
Yeah.
I kind of have to go to a barista to receive coffee.
Oh, good to know. Good to know. Yeah. So what is actually... Well, coffee is the result of brewing roasted ground coffee beans, for those people who don't know.
It's just bean water.
Yeah, essentially it is just bean water. It comes from just... And they're not actually really... We call them coffee beans, but really they're like seeds in some way. They come from the pits of a coffee tree. It's the fruit. So you get the fruit, you get... I don't know if it's still a definition, but fruit versus vegetable.
Well,
Fruit's the one that
and
has
legumes.
seeds. Yeah, so...
And nuts.
Yeah, so a coffee tree has cherries, and then the coffee cherry has...
Pits,
and that's where you call it. We call it coffee beans, I guess, because coffee pits sound weird.
Gross.
I guess, yeah, it sounds gross.
Yeah, let me get some pit water.
Put some
extra dark
pit in my mouth. Yeah, so the coffee tree, or coffea, it's an evergreen tree, but it's also kind of small, and I think some people even say it's a shrub. I don't know. I'm not a
I don't
scientist.
know the classification of trees and shrubs or
But,
bushes or
I don't know.
stuff.
We're no scientists. We just Google stuff and then tell us. We're a podcast. We Google stuff and tell people it in word form instead of written form. This is going great.
Awesome.
It grows in tropical climate regions. When you plant a coffee seed, it takes about 2.5 to 6 months for it to germinate into a plant. So germinate is like when it becomes
A little stalk of plant.
Goodness, plantiness.
I mean,
Yeah.
we planted stuff in like grade school.
Yeah, exactly.
We try to grow onions out of onions,
Oh yeah.
and then we grew some beans.
Yeah.
Never tried a coffee bean, but I'm pretty sure it wouldn't work because it's been roasted.
Yeah. And yeah, actually, that would probably be the main reason. I was gonna say it's because we don't live in the tropics, but yeah, the roasted part kind of trumps that.
It's like 20 kinds of dead.
Yeah. Yeah. So once it germinates, it's another 3 to 4 years for it to produce fruit, and then you could harvest the fruit for coffee. Plants produce, or sorry, the plants and when the fruiting process or whatever is that the leaves eventually
fruitification.
become flowers. The flowers then turn into cherries over the period of 30 to 35 weeks. For many countries, coffee is still being harvested by hand. So you can imagine how much work that involves, like picking
Coffee
the
bean.
cherry off the tree.
Yeah.
There's something dirty about that. I don't know. And people use a cherry for something, like
Pie?
dirty jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Like they took my cherry. Is that how? I don't know.
You pop a cherry.
Papa cherry. That's
That's a different topic for a different
yeah. That's
day.
a different topic. But yeah. So when you grab, picking involves usually as we mentioned, picking usually is done still by hand in some of the in most countries. Finding the ripe cherry is a whole skill in itself because there's a big difference between grabbing a ripe cherry and a not so ripe cherry. Usually the older school way of picking the cherries are they pick it by hand. There's another way where you kind of selectively pick it rather than, so you could selectively pick cherries from the tree, or you could just grab them by the bunch and process it after. Obviously that way if you grab it by the bunch, then the ones that aren't so ripe yet won't ripen anymore, I think.
You can't just put it in a bag like a banana.
No, you can't just pick that. But if you do that, I think it's called the wet process. If you just strip it all and put it on water, the sinking cherries are the ripe cherries. So a sunk cherry is a ready cherry. Patented by Mick, 2019.
Well, if the podcast thing doesn't work,
Yeah.
you can go, come up with titles for porn.
Yeah. Well, I was going to make taglines for like
Porn.
coffee farm in I don't know where they grow coffee.
Brazil?
Brazil, sure. Yeah.
Warm places.
Yeah. A ripe cherry is a sunk cherry. A sunk cherry is a ready cherry. That's what it was.
Something that still sounds dirty. I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds so bad. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Okay, I'm not patenting it. Y'all could have it.
Maybe you should get the domain name too.
Yeah. So a sunk cherry is a readycherry.com. That's where we sell the best coffee out there.
Oh yeah.
We got all the sunk cherries. We sunk everybody's cherry.
All the floaties? Oh, we get rid of those. There's a thorough screening process here.
Yeah, we gotta do right by the law. Man, this episode's going really well. Shit.
There's very little about actual coffee happening right now. That might be because I haven't actually had a coffee today.
Oh, me too, actually. Because I woke up super late today.
Should fix that after.
Yeah. It was perfect for a film, and I'm like, be up by 7.
All right.
10 o'clock rolls down. My brother's like, hey, can you drive me somewhere? I'm like, fuck.
It's not 7.
It's not 7. Yes, a coffee cherry. So the coffee cherry then is a coffee. So the coffee bean is covered by oh my god. The coffee bean. I really need my coffee. The coffee bean is covered, or inside a coffee cherry is a coffee bean. But extracting that bean out is actually a lot more complicated process than a lot of people might think. You don't just pick the bean, find a ripe cherry, and then I don't know, eat the cherry and
spit it out.
It's a little bit more tricky because a coffee bean is surrounded by multiple different layers as well. So trying to get through all those layers is also another tricky process. And once you get through that layer, you have to do it quickly so you don't spoil the number of cherries you get. And you can see from everyone who knows how much a bag of coffee beans are, that's a lot of cherries you have to kind of go through. So, yeah. it's not that easy to make coffee, essentially, is what we're trying to get at here. There's a lot of processes. I don't want to get too deep into it because I'm excited to talk about poop. So we'll talk a little bit more about different types of coffee once we have the beans now. So the harvesting process already takes a lot of time. So let's look more into the other stuff. But before that, apparently, we go around the world every day. We consume almost over 2 billion cups of coffee a day.
Ooh. About a third of that is me.
Yeah, probably. That's a lot of. That's almost 1 billion cups just for one person.
Delicious. I don't know how I'm still alive.
Yeah. 2/3 of Americans drink a cup of coffee every day, which apparently totals to about 18.5 gallons per person a year.
Crap.
But apparently in Finland, they drink 3 times that average.
Oh, wow.
So imagine drinking almost 60 gallons of coffee a year. I don't know. It's not surprising. I drink like probably a gallon a day. So
This is how we survive the film industry.
Pretty much. So what is coffee like for those 1/3 of the world that doesn't drink coffee?
I think you should try it.
Yeah. Coffee is a beverage with a variable percentage of caffeine and a very specific aroma and taste. Most people who first try coffee don't like it. That's why they tend to cover it up with sugar and milk. We talked about it a few weeks ago in the portion sizes episode, which I think is already out. For those who haven't listened to it yet, give it a listen. But we talked in the portion sizes. Part of that, we talked about how serving sizes are getting bigger. But also one thing that came up was that in coffee today, the calorie intake is much higher than before. And we were saying a big part of it was because more and more people put sugar and milk in their coffee.
Sometimes if you want to get fancy, you put ice cream.
Ice cream, yeah. And frap it up.
Yeah.
Frap it with a bean. Java frap.
That's
my. I think that's my frappuccino is the Java chip. So good. Yeah.
I want to be some kind of a minty one.
Ooh, they do have a mint frappuccino in Starbucks.
I'm not a Starbucks person, even though I live right on top of one.
I feel like half of Vancouver lives right on top of a Starbucks.
There's another one just a block away.
Yeah.
Like, is this necessary?
Jeez. I'm not a fan of the coffee in Starbucks either.
Yeah.
But the aroma and taste of different coffees do vary based on how you extract it, based on the type of coffee bean it is, the quality of the coffee bean, the concentration in the end, the type of roasting you do. So again, just like the harvesting, there are a lot of things that come a lot of factors that are involved in making coffee turn into the right bean. The most common types of coffee are the Arabica and the Robusta beans. Arabica does take up 80% of the total coffee production, while Robustas are about 20%. The other less popular varieties could involve Liberica, which I'm assuming is from Liberia, Cameroonian, which I'm assuming is from Cameroon.
What gave that away?
I don't know. Congo, which I'm assuming is from France.
No, Belgium.
It's probably from Congo.
It's, when Belgium was a bad colonist.
Oh, was Belgium what invaded Congo?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was a rather bloody and terrifying story.
Isn't it? Sierra Leonean coffee and Bengal coffee. And there are other types of coffee there, of course, as well. But Arabica and Robusta are the most popular ones. So when you hear Arabica coffee, it's the type of coffee bean, I guess. The difference between Arabica and Robusta is Arabica tends to be more acidic, which I'm assuming is Starbucks uses Arabica because Jesus, are their coffees so acidic. And Robusta has more flavor, which I'm assuming Starbucks doesn't use because Starbucks coffee has no flavor.
No, it's just...
Fight me on that.
I agree with you.
No, I'm talking to the listener, to our like one listener.
Well, hey, Colin listens to this and he would agree. Starbucks.
Yeah.
It's more... Starbucks is more of a gateway coffee place.
It is.
Like, if you want to start drinking coffee, you're like, where do I go?
Yeah.
Starbucks. It's right there. And
It's
there's
true.
another one right down the street.
That's true. It's a good gateway because it forces you to drink it with sugar and milk because there's no way you could enjoy Starbucks coffee black. And
I started with a black.
Yeah.
A Pike Place roast.
Ooh.
And it was it was too much for a beginner.
Yeah, fair enough. I did espressos in college because I used to believe that espressos had more caffeine than
Does it not?
regular coffee.
No. Okay.
I think it doesn't. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, no, it doesn't. Robusta. So yeah, like we said, Robusta is a little bit more flavorful, more bitterness. So French and Italian coffee preparation usually uses Robusta. It also contains more caffeine.
Mm.
Now, moving, as you mentioned, as we were talking about, there are different types of coffee brews out there as well. Espresso being one of them. That's when you use steam through the coffee grinds using pressure to create the coffee. It has the greatest amount of extraction of aromatic oils from the coffee bean, but it doesn't contain as much caffeine as other methods. So, again, just like the creation of a coffee bean, the way you actually extract the coffee from the bean,
Makes
so
a
many
difference.
different ways too. Yeah, so coffee is so freaking complicated.
It is. I didn't know what a cappuccino was. I didn't
Yeah.
know what a macchiato was. I'm just
Right?
like, I will order whatever that guy's ordering.
Yeah, to me it's like all the same, but actually it does a lot of different things. So as we showed here, even looking through an espresso, they're talking about oils, they're talking about flavor and caffeine. So the way you extract your coffee will change all of that as well. There's more caffeine in drip coffee when you extract it compared to, say, espresso and all the other kinds. But it is much more clear, which means there's less aromas and flavors that get extracted from the bean.
Bean water.
Yeah, because you kind of grind. I think it's the way you grind it and all of that. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know. Cold brew is a type of coffee that uses cold infusion on the coffee grinds. It has more flavors, less acidity, and less caffeine.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, cold brew is good.
It is. It has a
Actually,
natural sweetness.
that would be the
comes out.
one thing I like from Starbucks. Their nitro
brew.
cold brew. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm a fan.
yeah, because it is less acidic. And I think Starbucks coffee tastes better when it's less acidic.
When it doesn't taste like Starbucks.
Yeah, right. French press uses a metal filter instead of a paper filter that will filter less of the aromatic oils, so appreciated by coffee snobs. And then there's the Vietnamese style, which is similar to the French press.
But
The
with
coffee is
condensed
ground
milk.
very fine. A lot of the aromas are kept. And yes, they put so much of the condensed milk. It's crazy. Yeah, what
So
is your
good.
preferred coffee brew and style? What is your coffee?
It used to be
preference?
drip black, but
Right.
since I've been to Europe this summer, it's changed a little because
Wow.
their espressos are A+.
Right. Oh, you're one of those people now. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, now that I've been to Europe,
It's true.
I should drink espressos now.
I had something called a noisette in
What the heck?
Paris, and it comes in a small cup. You know what? I don't even know what it is. I just ordered it one day. I'm like, I need caffeine. Please give me whatever this is. And it came in a little shot glass,
Wow.
very hot. So, a shot glass is not ideal to
No,
lift, but
you just have to get it over with.
It was delicious.
Nice.
I just Googled it.
Okay, so what is a noisette?
Noisette.
Noisette.
So it's black coffee served with milk froth in a short cup.
Okay.
It was quite concentrated. It was really strong.
So it's like it's a more cappuccino.
Yes, sort of.
Oh no, but
it's in
it's
small.
just
it's in a
froth. They don't put
smaller
milk
dough.
at all.
No, there's no
okay.
milk in it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it was served with a little chocolate on the side, just
Oh,
to,
yeah.
in case it's a little bit too bitter.
Right. That sounds delicious.
It was great.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I prefer the affogatos, but I think I still drink mine even after Europe. Give me drip coffee black.
Drip coffee black.
That's it. I'm a simple person.
Although
cold brew is good.
Cold brew is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like sugar in my coffee. I like it better like my soul.
Yeah.
Yesterday at Jamie's house, I had it with soy milk,
Ooh.
which I usually stay away from because I don't know. I'm like, that's not milk. It's nut juice.
Yeah.
So I put some nut juice in my bean juice, and it was actually quite good.
Yeah. We went from popping cherries to nut juice. That's great.
Love it.
So yeah, there's a bunch of different ways you could roast your coffee as well, from light all the way to double roast. So there's a light, medium, full, and double roast. Roasting changes the chemical properties of the beans, so they have different tastes and aromas. If you don't even roast it, apparently it's pretty bland in flavor. I haven't tried it, so I wouldn't know actually for sure. But the varying degrees do change the tastes and flavors. The more you roast the beans, the less of the original flavor remains, which maybe is a good thing if the original flavor is bland.
Mm-hmm. The original flavor is no flavor.
Yeah. It's like when you go to America and get just plain chicken. What the hell is wrong with you?
You put
Roast
honey
that
on
shit.
it.
Put some spices.
Oh,
and
you
stuff.
mean like, where they just boil their chicken?
Yeah. Like people
Where
are like, who just
Do you
eat
have this?
roast boiled chicken. I'm thinking, okay, that's healthy, but is it really healthy for your soul?
At what cost?
Because you don't look that happy. You look good, but you
No,
don't
I
feel
believe in
good.
chicken fried.
Yes, fried chicken. So yeah, so the bitterness comes from the roast. So the more roasted it is, the more bitter it is. I like mine as roasted and dark as possible.
Me too. I like some flavor.
I really don't like acidic coffee, so I don't know. I forgot to research into that, but I don't know what makes it acidic. But the less of that, the better for me.
Well,
Please.
I mean, I'm sure we've all had coffee poops. That's
Yeah.
from the high acidity.
Yeah.
Just
right.
makes your stomach
Exactly.
go, oh, time to go.
Yeah. And speaking of, there are a bunch of different benefits and non-benefits to drinking coffee.
I'd like to just think that the non-benefits are non-existent.
Yeah. I think the main part in terms of health for coffee is caffeine. Right. So a lot of people who drink coffee probably drink it for the caffeine. Coffee does contain a lot of antioxidants as well, but the caffeine is the one that gives you that little pick-me-up of sorts. There is some addiction to coffee, as we could see. There's already had some.
Oh, what is that?
What was that?
Whatever's out
Being
there
attacked
needs some
in our
coffee.
room studio.
Is that a cat?
I guess so. Weird.
Thought it was a child, but now that I think it's a cat, I might be kind of concerned.
Oh yeah, we have cats. Our neighbors have cats.
Mhm.
But yeah, so coffee is a natural stimulant that creates some addiction as well. Caffeine is extracted from coffee and widely used in the pharmaceutical industry. It's bitter, crystal-like substance that's extracted from different plants, but coffee is the most popular one. In large doses, it is toxic. But in normal doses, there are some therapeutic values to it, as you can see from a lot of us. A lot of people use it for life therapy. We're being attacked by a cat in this place right
There's
now.
cats outside fighting, we think. But the blinds are drawn and I don't want to get up because I'm wearing headphones.
Yeah, and I don't want to see what I don't know. It might be like Pet Cemetery or something. Caffeine is addictive in some ways, or actually in a lot of ways, and is already shown to have withdrawal effects when you don't have caffeine from after long periods of having caffeine.
Right now.
Yeah, there was a time when I didn't have coffee for a week, and I wasn't thinking because it was just when I first stopped working in the office and I didn't have coffee anymore. I kept getting headaches.
Oh, I've had those.
Apparently, it's from withdrawal.
It's actually awful
Yeah.
because the only thing that stopped my coffee headaches was Excedrin, which had caffeine in it.
Oh, yeah. So, caffeine addiction, it's a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah, just drink more of it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
exactly. Too much caffeine can also produce restlessness, nausea, headache, also some sleep problems, and tensed muscles. Now, the bad side of coffee, let's start with that, and we'll look at the benefits a little bit after. Coffee can aggravate ulcer problems and also cause heartburns. It can affect your sleep. Even though coffee only has a few calories per serving, most people, as we mentioned, put creamer. I know somebody put 7 and 7.
Oh,
That's
man.
7 cream, 7
Some
sugar.
Wow. In
It's
a cup, how
disgusting.
big?
I don't know, like a regular cup.
Oh, that's
It's kind
scary.
of gross. It's super
That's
gross.
scary. You're just putting a little bit of coffee in your sugar. And milk.
Yeah, exactly. And in Canada, we have the calorie intake in Starbucks. They show how much calories there are in your drinks. If you look at it, most of those drinks that have
They're
sweetened
insane.
are like at this 3 to 700 range, which is ridiculous because it's like Big Mac.
That's a
level.
meal.
Yeah. So there's that about coffee. It could also kind of apparently if you drink coffee and take different other drugs as well, it can help either make the drug effects worse or better. So it's a little bit of a risk. I don't know. People who want to try that, let us know. I don't recommend it.
We're not responsible for anything.
Nope. Apparently, if you take it with Prozac, for example, you can get unusual cravings for coffee even after you drink your coffee.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Whenever I take Claritin, because I have allergies,
Right.
I crave coffee more.
Weird.
I don't
Maybe
know.
you're taking Prozac and you don't even know.
Wow. Did not know you can buy them in a Claritin package.
It's like that. What was the Tylenol murderer? The one who put
Oh, I
what the
remember
hell was
this.
that? Cyanide. It replaced some of the
Yeah.
capsules with cyanide.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Disturbing.
Yeah. But there are also some benefits to coffee if you haven't known yet. But there are also some benefits to coffee. Caffeine being one of it also helps you gain energy, gives you that boost, gives you like that dopamine kick of sorts. It's also apparently a good fat burning supplement that helps you with that. So if you want to lose weight, drinking coffee can help. But it also shows that the more coffee you drink, the less it helps in increasing your metabolic rates as well. So if you're using it for fat loss, weight loss, or whatever, it's not going to last.
You'll
long term.
plateau pretty quickly.
You'll plateau pretty quickly, and you'll actually like plateau down, or not, like drop in your effectiveness for it. It also stimulates your nervous system to help break down your body fat. Also increases your adrenaline levels, which makes your body like a little bit more excited and ready for physical activity. Also has some vitamins like B2, B3, B5, manganese, which I thought was mangoes, and potassium. For some reason, coffee drinkers also have a significant decreased risk of type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, and it can also help protect your liver. Also says that... No, that was it. I'm sure there are other benefits for it too.
Those are pretty good benefits.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, that's it about coffee. I think for most people, they kind of know. I know it would be cool to have our friend Srini for a coffee episode one day, because he's not a coffee... Oh, he's a coffee snob, but
yeah, he
very,
carries a scale with him.
Yeah.
So
he measures his coffee every time he drinks it. It's a whole process. Even on set, he'll like bring his materials.
he brings his own filters, cups,
machinery and stuff. Yeah.
I don't even know what half of the stuff is.
But he makes some damn good coffee. So.
You know, I've never had one ever. Every single time when I catch him making it, he has to go.
Oh, fair enough.
Or he's done. He's like, I'm wrapped.
Yeah, so you could ask him about that. Well, maybe we'll have him in for like a coffee episode or something.
Yes.
But the most important question of today's episode was, does coffee make you poop?
Scientifically?
Yeah.
Or evidently, yes. I have to say, especially McDonald's coffee for me.
Yeah, so apparently 30% of humans feel the need to poop after drinking coffee.
You know.
I don't actually.
Oh. Maybe you're just immune to it at this point.
Because coffee apparently is a diuretic.
Yeah.
It works. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like when I drink coffee, I get constipated.
Yes, because it drains the water out of your poop.
Right. But then I don't have to poop. I don't feel like pooping. But
I don't know.
Apparently it's supposed to make me feel like pooping. But apparently, I don't know.
Well, at one point in my life, before I was spoiled by too much coffee consumption, I was very sensitive to coffee smells.
Right.
So whenever I went to bookstores have Starbucks attached to them.
Right.
If I go in to browse a book and I can smell the coffee, I'm like, instantly, I have to go to the bathroom.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah, no, that doesn't work for me.
But that was when I was really young.
Fair enough. Yeah, so apparently, yes, scientifically, coffee does make you feel like pooping. Caffeine is a mild diuretic, and it even has some kind of laxative effect in some people who are particularly sensitive to caffeine. It also helps.
Yeah, those days are long gone.
Yeah, same for me, I guess. The chemicals also stimulate muscle contractions in your intestines, which help push food.
Poopy out.
So yeah, that helps as well. According to William DePaulo, who's a molecular microbiologist for some school in USC,
some school in USC.
Yeah.
Some school named USC.
Yeah. Exactly. Some school named USC. There's about 80 to 175 milligrams of caffeine in drip coffee, which in comparison to Coca-Cola is about 34. That difference can explain why soda doesn't feel like it has a laxative effect, while coffee does feel like it has a laxative effect.
For the weak.
Yeah. The acidic nature as well helps, as you mentioned a while ago, make you a little more poopy.
Yes.
And of course, artificial sweeteners and milk and cream also help and making you feel poopy. So you milk and cream,
It's a triple threat.
milk and sugar people are just making it your lives harder for yourselves. You are drinking a poop bomb for yourself.
I mean, it's important to stay regular. You gotta go.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's not good to keep that stuff inside.
Oh, yeah, you gotta go. If you gotta go, you gotta go. If you really want to go, then drink coffee with sugar and milk.
So I wonder if you have a little bit of a problem going. Should you just drink a giant tub of coffee?
Yeah, probably. Do a 7 and 7. 7 and 7 for your number 2. A lot of numbers there. So caffeine also helps with your caffeine also. So another question people ask is because if caffeine is the reason that you have to poop when you drink coffee, will decaf coffee then make you not poop? To that, it's a yes and no, because decaf still has some of the acidic factors that coffee has, so it still could kind of make you poop.
I don't get people who drink decaf. What is the point?
My dad drinks decaf. I think it just because the caffeine kick isn't really. They just like the taste of coffee, but they really don't want that caffeine kick.
Okay.
I know someone who's super sensitive to caffeine, so then they can't drink coffee past 2.
Oh, okay.
So they can't sleep.
I wonder what that's like. I haven't had that caffeine sensitivity in a very long time.
Yeah. I don't even feel anything when I drink coffee anymore.
Exactly. I'm like 5 cups down. I'm like,
Yeah. And I'm always like, is it my depression or is it just because I'm used to it?
It's probably both.
The real question isn't that coffee makes us poop. It's that, is there poop coffee out there?
Da-da-da. Yes.
Yes. The history of it apparently comes from Indonesia. They call it the kopi luwak, which I think translates to coffee from an Asian palm civet.
They're really cute.
Yeah.
If you don't know what they look like, you should definitely Google them.
They're like, how do you explain them? They're raccoony, but they're not fat, because raccoons are chubby compared to these.
They look leopardy, and
Yeah.
if you've seen an Australian possum, the really cute ones, they kind of look like that, but spotted and bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They kind of look like that.
They got a really cute face.
Yeah. In Vietnam, they're called weasel coffee. In the Philippines, we're just called civet coffee, or Kape Alamid. The history of this civet coffee roots back to, as always, and everything from Asia, from colonialism. So the legend is that the kopi luwak was discovered in Indonesia by Dutch colonial rule. Again, we're ignoring the people in Indonesia who discovered coffee, but whatever. During that time, apparently, the native farmers and plantation workers in Indonesia were forbidden from harvesting coffee for their own use and were left to scrounge around for it because the Dutch just wanted all the coffee to themselves. Classic colonials. But they did soon discover that a civet cat would eat coffee cherries and then poop the seeds out. So for them, they decided to just use those because then technically they didn't harvest that seed. It got pooped out.
Yes. It was, they removed the cherry bits for them.
Exactly. And I would assume that Dutch colonials would not want to touch poop coffee, or poop coffee beans, so then by all means they just get the Indonesians to do this. But what happened when they brewed these beans is they found that it tasted much better from the conventional coffee at that time, which would be, I think, the 18 or mid-19th century or something.
18-ish.
Yeah.
1800s-ish.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So at that time, they found that when you brewed the coffee, then it tasted so much better than just regular coffee. And that kind of brought upon the creation of civet coffee. The beans would have been apparently more... in terms of the science behind it, it seems like the civet cat would do all the cleaning processes that we would normally do to the bean. It'll get rid of all the extra bits, random skins, and get rid of all the useless enzymes, resulting in a very, very clean bean. And you roast it to your liking, and then you get the right coffee for it. Now, there was what you could argue now today, though, is that you don't really need the civet coffee because we can clean and process.
We have robots.
Yeah, exactly. You can clean and process these beans the same way as well now. So apparently, not really a big difference between very clean coffee and civet coffee at this point. At first, the civet coffee did really well for the creatures because then Indonesians did see them as a pest back then, but now they became this big commercial thing. Today, though, it has become this big empire of civet coffee. So one big issue that came out of this is the abuse and harm
Animal
of
cruelty.
animal
Mhm.
cruelty of civets. So there are a lot of farms out there now that just have civets eating and pooping all the time. A big problem with this is now you don't really get the same quality of civet coffee as it was originally, because then you have just being or civets being force fed coffee beans rather than the civets naturally being able to choose and pick the ripe beans themselves.
Mhm.
So you don't actually get a better quality civet coffee. In fact, apparently today too, most of the civet coffee being sold out of Indonesia isn't even civet coffee, it's just coffee. There's a lot of scamming going on. A lot of abuse and a lot of scamming happening right now with civet coffee. So
Humans are bad.
we just decide we always just want to abuse the shit out of things. It's like, guys, just
Bad and
poor
wrong.
civets. Yeah. Right? So
This
mean.
makes me sad. But also, I have tried the civet coffee.
Yeah.
Because my mom was gifted a little tube of it. It came
Nice.
in a tube. Has a picture of the civet on it.
Aw.
It's cute.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it smells different from coffee beans.
It smells like
normally.
shit.
It is, yes. But if that's what their shit smells like, hot damn.
Majestic shit.
Feed it to me.
Yeah, I've tried it before too. It's coffee. I don't know.
It's
I
got
don't
a
have fine
different
taste.
scent.
Yeah.
Like, I found it to be, it almost smells like it's coffee but fermented a little bit.
Mm.
It's got a little fermenty smell.
Right. Maybe that civet held his
Yeah.
poop for a little long.
Probably.
Got fermented in his stomach.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so civets are, like we mentioned, just small little mammals that look like cats. They're nocturnal and native to Asia and Africa.
Meow.
Yeah, they have a long tail like a monkey with face markings like a raccoon, with stripes and spots on its body. They're pretty cute.
They're super cute. And I'm sad that we're using them for coffee
Yeah,
that a machine can do.
right? And even today, again, it depends on who you're talking to. I think, my opinion, it's not worth the extra money or the abuse that we give to these civets. Yeah, it made me sad.
We made ourselves sad. Oh man.
Yeah.
We really need a coffee that's not pooped out
Yeah.
after this.
Well, aside from coffee poop, apparently civets are also known to be harvested or used for their musk. So their poops or their farts or their smells. is
Maybe
a-
that's what
is a
the
good-
bean smell.
Yeah, maybe that's why the beans smell good.
It's actually a fart.
Yeah.
I drank fart water. No
Um,
regrets though. It was pretty strong.
Yeah, right?
Like the taste and the smell was
Yeah.
stronger than any coffee bean
Right.
that I've bought here.
Yeah. It must be because of their musk then, because apparently their musk is located by their butt, and it releases an oily, very odorous smell. We have found a use as humans for it, as we do, and it's used mainly for perfumes. It's a big main it's a
butt
main
scent.
chemical for a lot of perfumes. So for those people who like their perfumes,
You got some butt
get
juice.
some butt juice on it.
Delicious.
Yeah, never putting perfume on myself ever again.
Well, I don't mind it.
Now, I mean, abuse aside, let's assume that civets aren't being abused, and we do have civet coffee that exists out there
In a perfect world.
in a perfect world. The big question comes up is it even good?
Right.
And I think back then, in the mid-19th century, yes, it was good. It was the purest form they could get for coffee because they didn't have the machinery for it. But it does seem today that it's a whole hoax now. I think a lot of coffees can get the same level of goodness from civet coffees than that we don't really have to get we don't have to get civet coffee to get coffee that good. Now some do argue that it is better still, like you get a pretty good keeps all the good stuff, the good acids and blah 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 blah. Again, of my opinion, from my experience with it, not worth it.
Yeah. I don't think it's worth however much that tube cost. Of course, it was a gift, so we don't know.
Yeah.
But I Googled it, and it was up to like over $100
Yeah, it's a few
for
$100
a little bit.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm okay with my $1 McDonald's coffee tasted better than this. Maybe
You
because
know
I
where
was
I get my
tired when I
coffee?
get my.
I get my coffee at IKEA. They have beans.
Ooh, yeah, IKEA has good coffee too. So yeah, that's what we have for Civet coffee. We tried a different format of being a little bit more. I didn't prepare a full essay this time.
We've been busy.
Yeah, and Angel went on a trip to Europe, so she's like super fancy now.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you about cheese.
Yeah. Yeah, I think our next episode would probably be about what is our next episode?
Blood?
Oh, not cheese, blood.
I mean, we can talk about cheese too.
Yeah, we're going from poops and butts to blood.
This is getting grosser by the episode. I kind of like it.
But yeah, so that's it. That's it for our episode of Civet Coffee. Again, for
Wait,
those who regularly drink it, stop.
yes.
Think of the poor civets.
I know. Don't. They're kept in cages and force fed, which sounds like an ideal life, but it's not.
No, especially when you pee on your floor. Yeah.
I don't ever want to see photos from these farms.
Yeah.
They would just make me cry.
Yeah, that was me last night.
Wait, did you Google this?
I was just reading up. Someone was like describing him. I was really sad. I skipped most of it because I just didn't want to talk about it.
I appreciate, because like I know consciously that it's happening, but
yeah,
I don't want to know the details.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. I think the kids outside are ready.
Wait, what are we eating?
Oh, what are we eating? What are we eating today?
Well, I'm on the unemployment diet, which means
boiled chicken.
No, that's a little bit too fancy for me. It's hummus all day. You want to talk about farts? Yeah, I got some stories.
Yeah, we had to. That's why it's so noisy today, because we had to open the window because Angel's just farting.
Oh, sorry.
Everywhere.
Just so much hummus.
Yeah.
I buy the value tubs. You know, I don't like bread, so I just eat them with a spoon.
I just have a picture of you Winnie the Poohing this in your couch as you're like crying, like, "Oh my God, I have no job."
It's not inaccurate.
This is really good hummus. Should buy another tub.
Next time I'm buying a tub of beet hummus.
Ooh, is that good?
I like it.
Okay.
I quite like beets.
Yeah, fair
It's
enough.
a little bit sweeter than hummus.
Nice.
Wait, what are you eating?
What am I eating? I had bibimbap last week because we had some guests over, and I had this idea of making a bibimbap inspired burger.
Ooh.
That was it. Yeah.
Food truck.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But we did. Ia and I went to the Canada Day parade a few days ago or whatever, and we had this food truck that had like the Filipino bread, and then they made the Filipino breakfast meals like longanisa into a burger of sorts. That's pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, I recommend that.
I love food trucks.
Yeah.
Not viable for unemployment.
No.
Just
They're
hummus.
Just hummus and Winnie the Pooh.
Mm-mm.
And then she becomes Angel the Poop.
We can hope. I'll just drink some coffee for that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Ooh, in combination with hummus.
Oh my God.
Bad.
Coffee and hummus. It's like
That's a lethal.
your farts will like accelerate the poop out.
I will be shot into space.
Yeah. Gasoline and
Other stuff.
Stuff, yeah.
Other stuff.
My brain's we're gonna go get coffee now.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Bye. This is Smorgasbord. Have a food-related ritual, myth, or something strange you want us to explore? Send us a message through Facebook at Geek Happy Network. We'd love to hear from our fellow foodie listeners. And while you're there, remember to subscribe or follow us too. This show was created by Angel Lynn and Mik Narciso, hosted by Angel Lynn and Mik Narciso, editing by Mik, and logo by Angel. Thanks for listening. For more GHN shows like the Monster Slayer's Guide to Slaying Monsters, come give us a listen at geekhappynetwork.com or look for us on your favorite podcast app. Oh, and be sure to follow us on Facebook or Instagram at Geek Happy Network.